Okay, transubstantiation and the toll houses. Now, for some backup, for some pre-log for context for this video. The two subjects that I have addressed the most, where across any channel, no matter what its name was, for the last 10 years, if you look on YouTube, the one who talks, the two videos where I dominate the subject, where I'll have like 50 videos out on it, or 100 videos where somebody else might have one, or the vast majority of the videos on YouTube are mine. Or even collaborations with people, are one, documentary hypothesis, also known as well housing theory, or the EJDP redactor theory. So that one, and TollHouses. And I said, let me guess, he's for toll, because I didn't want to respond. I said I thought that was funny. I was like, no, you know what? I'm done with him. He said he's done with me. Go our own ways. I don't need him to make. I don't need him for me to make videos. He doesn't need me to make his own videos. Well, apparently he does, because people watched it said no. He believes that toll houses are heresy, and then he changed his belief, probably because he stumbled across one of my videos. Because again, to be orthodox, orthodoxy is not a, and I'm being sarcastic here. Orthodoxy is not a belief, or is not a religion and a way of life of the practices that the apostles passed down to us on how to worship our ineffable existing one, he who can neither be described or imagined or even contained in our thoughts for a second. No, it's not that. It's actually whatever I say, the exact opposite. It's only a reaction to me. Toll houses. I'll get that out of I'll get that out of the way straight away. The Ladder of Divine Ascent is read every Lent. People go through that, and that's their devotional. That's the second most read book in the Orthodox world. After the Bible is first, it's the second most. Now, taking snippets from the Philokalia, from various church fathers, quote mining and proof texting, which, by the way, is a heresy. A guy named Seraphim Rose, who's not a saint, people try to keep making him a saint, like these little cults. Remember, he was part of ROCOR. He was a homosexual who came to Orthodoxy to try to fight his homosexuality. And he took this Russian folk tradition, monastic Russian folk tradition of this kind of, he latched onto that, and from that he formed the toll houses by taking, because remember, he came out of Protestantism, Seraphim Rose, by proof texting and quote mining, and he built up this thing. And basically, it's kind of like if you're obsessed with Nazis or communists or the Illuminati, you'll see the communists everywhere, Nazis everywhere, the Illuminati everywhere. Well, he saw the Ariel toll houses everywhere, even though it contradicts all of what St. Paul said. It contradicts the teaching of the church, and it's not. Why isn't it mentioned in our funeral services or in our prayers to the dead? Why is it completely absent? and it's a secret teaching, that's not allowed. Why did anybody openly write about it? And people point and say, "Oh, see, look at this. These 3 sentences in Saint so and so's book. It talks about this or that," and it's like, yeah, but that's not talking about what Seraphim Rose created in, I believe, like the 60s or something. Um, Now he was a disciple of the hero monk Damascene, who's a great guy, wrote Christ the Infinite Tao. And I had the chance to meet one of his spiritual daughters, Seraphim Rose's spiritual daughters. But the woman who went to my parish, who really knew her, who talked to her, um, actually really talked in depth about TollHouses, and she said, "Tread." It's even Seraphim Rose will tell you, because he was already passed away by that time. He had died even before I became Orthodox. Um, I'm not sure when he died, but obviously he was dead, before 2006. He even told people, tread extremely lightly. When this is a discipline for the monks, not for anybody else, and it's more metaphorical, right? Because all you have, and this was the issue, and no priest nor bishop teaches this. This is a roll core thing that was formed outside of the church. You want to talk about ideas coming from outside of the church? This is one of them. Roll core was a broken off schismatic group when it created TollHouses, right? That's be one alarm bell. The second is that the demons judge you. No, I can understand the council of the saints judging you, or Christ or God or whatever, but no, the demons cannot judge you, cannot judge the baptized. And if they ever convict, say, "Oh, you committed this sin," and if you're guilty of it enough, then boom, then you slide back down to hell because you're ascending. These Ariel TollHouses are when you're ascending to heaven. You have to pass through where these archons, and this is where Gnosticism comes on. They're archons. This is exactly what the Gnostics believed. So these rulers in the sky, these archons, people say, "Oh, but they're just the punishment for the will of the true God." All you have to say, "Yeah, you're right. I totally deserve hell, but I'm baptized and I've taken the Eucharist, and the church has told me my sins were forgiven, so I have assurance because of the keys of Peter." So, basically that. When I first asked about the TollHouses at Holy Transfiguration, you, my father, my parish priest said, Father Bill said, "Yeah, they make for better cookies than they do for theology." I said, "Well, what are they?" And they briefly described, and I said, "Oh, well, I've got the book of Galatians." And Father Bill, with his arms crossed, goes like this, and goes, "Thank you." Ah, geez, because these fanatics would come in. No, it's a schismatic Gnostic belief that needs to stay the hell away from the church. But since it's against proper orthodoxy, and I'm against it, I guess he had to change his mind to be against it too, because he's just dialectic. I don't understand why he's not an anti-theistic atheist, because I'm a believing, confessing Eastern Orthodox Christian. And we'll get to transubstantiation in the next video, just because this one ran a little bit too long.